Ubisoft is having a bit of a crisis at the moment. We all know this. Their Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws, was not received too well. Assassin's Creed Shadows had to get delayed, and especially now that the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima has been announced, they're going to be under more pressure and more scrutiny. And it has just been announced that they will be next year ending services for XDefiant. Here is a post from Mark Rubin. Hello XDefiant fans, I'm unfortunately here to tell you that XDefiant will be shutting down. Starting from today, new downloads and player registrations will no longer be available. We'll still release Season 3 content in the near future, we don't know when, and the servers will remain active until June 3rd, 2025. If you purchase the Ultimate Founders Pack, you'll receive a full refund, and anybody who made any purchases within the last 30 days will also be fully refunded. So I'm glad that players will be receiving some compensation. If you purchased any other skins greater than 30 days ago, doesn't look like you'll be getting the money back. Mark Rubin goes on to talk about how the goal of this game was to create an arcade shooter which was trying to remove skill-based matchmaking and give that old school arcade shooter experience. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and I'm sure a lot of people have been, for the last few years talking about skill-based matchmaking. How it is something where, back in the day, every single lobby wasn't a complete sweatfest. You tend to have one really strong game, and then the next game you get input against, the best players in the world all of a sudden. And you just have this whole good game, bad game, good game, bad game. Their whole objective was to not have that. Now, I actually did review XDefiant, and I really liked it, but it is very clear that this game has been released in a very saturated market, a very saturated genre specifically, this arcade hero shooter. We had Concord earlier in the year completely crumble, probably one of, if not the biggest AAA flop in history. And it looks like XDefiant, while not reaching that level of failure, it looks like it's not going to be an ongoing live service for much longer for Ubisoft. I'm a big fan of single player games. I'm currently wearing the a Horizon Zero Dawn hoodie. I'm a big fan of, some of those old school Assassin's Creed games, some of those, classic single player PlayStation story games like, Last of Us and God of War. But what's happening very clearly is, from a business point of view, these games where you kind of release it one time, although Sony have been remastering them over and over again, and even handed the license to make a Lego Horizon game, which that didn't do too well either. What's clearly happening is that in order to financially support and make more of these games, they're trying to have live services to help bolster, the rest of the business, because that's where you can get ongoing revenue from. The problem is not everybody wants to play these games, and there are a couple in the market that are really, really popular. I think of, how when Overwatch first came out, Fortnite is an absolute behemoth at the moment. I know Destiny isn't getting as much new content, but that's still a huge game. But there's only so much room, and these games are really established titles, and it's really hard to knock them off, their perch. It's not possible for everybody to create the next Fortnite. So what ends up happening is these companies invest so much time and money with the objective of this new game being, the money maker, so they can go out and, make these, other single player games that, people like myself really want to play, but it doesn't end up working out. And it kind of leaves, particularly in Ubisoft's case, they're in limbo now. Like I said, they've got Star Wars Outlaws, which was incredibly average and didn't do too well. Assassin's Creed Shadows, that is going to be really interesting when that game comes out, especially that it's been pushed closer to the release window of Ghost of Yotai. I'm very concerned for Ubisoft, and it's a shame because they've made some fantastic games in the past. The original Assassin's Creed games come to mind. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom and say that Ubisoft has one foot in the grave, but some of their, previous missteps this year, with XDefiant being cut short and some of the scrutiny that Assassin's Creed Shadows already has, if that game doesn't live up to expectations, then I think they could be in some really serious trouble. Anyway, that's it from me. I am planning to review the new Indiana Jones game, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on XDefiant, maybe the state of Ubisoft as well. Did you play XDefiant? Were you someone that enjoyed it? Are you looking forward to Assassin's Creed Shadows? Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Lancy out.